Hello everyone, this is Jan and you're watching SketchaLona, my weekly vlog in which I show you what's been happening in my sketchbook and right here in Barcelona.
With suspicious minds, and we can build our dreams on suspicious minds. So if an old friend I know stops by to say hello, would I still see?
I think I just found myself a new comic book store that just so happens to have the largest English collection that I've seen. But not only that, I just got to talking to the guy, like he's really friendly, and because he was like, well, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? And I'm like, well, I'm just just want to look around, nothing in particular, just want to look for the art really. Just something to read while I have my coffee. And then while I was chatting with him, he was like, well, you can order anything you want, really. And showed me these catalogs for what's coming in like 3 months called previews. And I remember this from the store I always used to go to in Amsterdam, Wonderland, on the Sumbawa-straat in the Indonesian neighborhood. So like this guy does everything. Like you can order online with him from that catalog. You can just call him up and order. If you want to deliver it at your house, it's free of charge. Because this is a little further away from my house, but it's not too far. I think it took me about 20 minutes to get out here. I just hopped on a random bus again, just to see where I end up. But that's really awesome. So now I'm set. So I'm gonna check out his website and see if I can get myself some Arthur Adams comic books. So this week, I managed to get up to 30 pages of thumbnails. And I'm really happy about this. So my story for Phosphor is progressing, and I want to get up to 50. Like now, with so many people doing the 100 days of making comics again, or just starting, it's really inspiring seeing so many people come by in my on my YouTube feed. There's damn cat. There's Josh Kemble. He just got started on his first run of 100 Days of Making Comics. Marshall is doing his, I think it's his third. There's a whole slew of new people who have made quite a lot of progress. There's Keenan, there's Rory Jones that I'm watching. They're putting out videos every single day. And then yesterday, Chris McQuinlan announced that he was also doing a 100 Days of Making Comics. This is putting a lot of pressure on Ox and me. Just kidding, Ox. You've had plenty of runs. You get the year off. Me, on the other hand. So the 100 Days of Making Comics is, of course, the challenge that was started by Kevin Cross, who is also returning to do another run, and it is finding the time in your busy schedule, no matter what, for 100 days to work on your comic books. And so I am full of excuses to not do another run. I've definitely thought about it, and I'd like to, but I need to whittle away some of these excuses. And one of them is this book that I'm editing, because it's so time consuming. So I figured like in a couple of days, then I can really make the decision. Because right now it's like I'm working on my art, but really like at night I'm just trying to get through this book. A couple more days, that's my main excuse. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what everyone is going to do and how all the newcomers are going to be doing. see who gets up to day 30 at the very least. And of course, to see more videos by Kevin and Josh, Marshall, you know, Chris, to see them come back. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good fun, you know, while I sit here and draw. So the thing you're watching me draw right now is just one of those days at work where I, you know, was just perusing some websites. Could be news about technology, could be science, could be the news, just news. I think this was some Apple event, so some of the people from Apple. So I drew them and then tightened up pencils. It was quite fun of how this kind of came out, because it was another one of those runs where the focus was really, I mean, of course I want to get the likeness in and I want to, like, you know, learn, like, push my boundaries a little bit. So instead of just drawing one person, I draw a couple in a scene. But it's really the focus here, and for some of the later videos I'm going to be using for this video as well, this week of SketchaLona, is the workflow. So it's the rough sketch, and then I try and tighten it up by first looking at the blacks. So just where are the deep blacks in this person's face, like at the eye, the neck. And so instead of just drawing an outline, I just go for those deep pockets of shadow. And I use little shapes to help fill them in, like little triangles, before I actually start adding like a proper outline. And then where it's clear there should be shading and not like a shadow or a dark shape, that's where I try and, you know, add some cross-hatching or parallel lines, but I really try and hold back. Like, this is like a main focus in my workflow, like just hold back and don't go sketching crazy. These are tight pencils. Like, just hold back and it makes it more stylized and it just looks better, you know? But it's something that I have a hard time with. Even when I do that very comic booky thing where you draw a line and you just add a little notches on the line, you know, to give that bit of shape, texture, whatever it is. I always go overboard with all the little notches, and it doesn't look good. So I'm trying to stop doing that. So that's kind of like what you can see me do here, and like in some of the later videos. It's really just a focus on the workflow, because if I build these good habits in drawing scenes like this, when it comes to, you know, like taking it from a rough sketch and then focusing on the light and the shadow and then the shading, it makes for a better piece, you know? And so when that one day comes along where I just have to just quickly make something, drilling these good habits into me will allow me to just, you know, I just walked into a wine market. There's nothing but wine and the occasional beer. And I'm just looking for a coffee so I can sit down and read my new comic, you know? Look, I didn't pick the song. It was there in the background already. And it's not every day you draw the Russian head honcho. So I think he came out all right. I mean, you know, as soon as he comes out of this shadow, he'll fade away, come back. But yeah, I'm quite fond of how the line art came out. I think I managed to hold back on overdoing the sketchiness. And get myself a nice little comic booky vibe. Of course, it helped that I had inspiration, the comic book I bought the other day. Here it is. I did use this for more than just a little inspiration, drawing directly from it. So credit where credit is due. I don't know, it kind of felt like an Elseworlds type Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman versus the Planetary, or is it the Authority? I don't know. And here we are again. So I've added the a bit more shading for the hair. I quite liked it without, but I really need to practice these kinds of lines. Going behind, you know, just same with this one. I kind of like that very Mark Silvestri, just randomness. But it didn't look good before. Like, I was having fun with it, but it didn't look good. And though I have issues with this, I think adding a lot of of these black shapes again, like these dark outlines for the back, really gives it a lot more volume and makes it a lot clearer what kind of shapes you're looking at in the hair. A little scene I drew just sitting outside some old building. It's kind of tricky with like this background here, getting all this subtle work in, keeping it in perspective. That's hard. I need to do that more often. This is just completely random, you know, just having a bit of fun, drawing some of the people on YouTube, one of my characters, somebody from the news, and that's the same lady. You know, like, how am I gonna draw? Get away from me, the cloth, the dreads. Is this overdoing it? Is it too time consuming? You know, all things to think about. I like the shadow on her face though. Here. Oh yeah, that one. Of my thumbnails. Just made it. Not quite home yet, but I just made it today. I've just been drawing away. Wasn't very busy at work. It's time to race back home, chill out just a little bit, have another coffee, and let you all know it's not too late. If you haven't pledged, we have a Kickstarter out. The V100s community I was talking about earlier, where people find a little bit of time every day for 100 days to work on their personal comic books, have made a comic book together called Life in Space, comic book anthology. You can find it on Kickstarter. I'll put a link down below. And it's doing pretty well. However, we have come up with some stretch goals we'd love to reach, and you can help us by getting yourself a really amazing comic book. Or if you just like to do us a favor, help us get as many eyes as possible on this little project, because who knows what's in store in the future. We've had so many new people joining the V100s community in the last couple of weeks, commencing on their first round of 100 days. And it's really, really exciting. So who knows if this is the beginning of a series? It could be, but then we need to make this first book the success it deserves to be. So go check it out. The link is down below, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll be seeing you guys next week in another episode of SketchaLona. Meow. Meow.